Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Heal with Kat podcast. My name is Kat and I am your host. And if you are new here, welcome to the community. I am so excited to have you here. And if you are not new, welcome back. And thank you so much for being here as well. We have a really exciting episode today, Mother Mary. I have been kind of simmering on the right time to talk about Mother Mary, my relationship to her, how you can have a relationship with her, the best ways to invoke her. I'm going to pull an oracle card today for you all listening. We're going to do a bit of a meditation. We're going to go in a few different directions with Mother Mary as a whole, but I'm really excited to share this because Mother Mary is one of my favorite things to talk about. She is also one of my greatest guides in my own personal work and in my life, and also in my work with family constellation therapy. I won't speak for my clients, but I have had many clients, one in particular I can think of, who experienced miracles with Mother Mary in FCT and outside of the sessions. I just could go on all day about Mother Mary because I love her so much. And she is the protector of women, and you can have a relationship with her even if you are not religious. And I'm going to get into all of that today. But that's a big welcome and thank you for being here. I said on last week's episode that I was potentially going to open up and speak about the passing of my brother-in-law and my process with grief. And I had actually recorded an episode and I made the snippets for social media, and I got about, into like the fifth Reels creation. And I just had this overwhelming feeling that I was forcing a process that I wasn't ready to talk about, at least not clearly. And out of respect for his family, out of respect for my sister, out of respect for my nephew, and out of respect for my own process, I won't be opening up about what we experienced now. Could change in the future. We have a long road ahead of us when it comes to getting justice for what happened to him. But I don't know when I'm going to be ready to talk about it. And it's such a sensitive topic. Some days I'm totally fine. Like today, I can look at his photo, next to my desk and be like, okay, I know he's in a better place. Today I'm okay. But the last 2 days were really difficult. And I think it's going to kind of be like that for a while. So I appreciate everyone's messages and love and support. What I will say is that if you've reached out and I haven't responded, it's not personal. It's just that I am moving so deeply through my own process of grief that if someone even asks me like, how are you? Like, I don't even want to, like, I don't even know what's going to come out. So like, I don't even know how to answer that question. And it depends on the day. Like some days I'm like, I'm okay today. And some days I'm like, I can't answer that question. I don't know how I don't even know how I feel right now. So, I really appreciate all the loving messages and all the sweet support. And I'm just asking for respect at this time that I get to go through my own process and respect my family, respect his family, and respect his soul, that he's also going through a process on the other side. And I think that's what I'm really holding space for, because he's only been gone, as of today, 20 days. And it's just too soon. Thought I was ready, but it's too soon. So just wanted to preface with that. But for today's episode with Mother Mary, let's get into it, okay? Because I have a ton of stuff to share about the divine grace of Mother Mary and what it means to be on a journey of healing with her. And I'll give you a little bit of a background of my relationship with Mother Mary and my relationship with religion, and how I've evolved and been able to create a relationship with Mother Mary in a way that feels rooted in something traditional, but it's really not at the end of the day. And I'll explain what that means. I tend to be a bit of a traditionalist in some ways, but I'm also an Aquarius. So I'm kind of like, I'll take what I want from this and I'll do the rest on my own. I'll make up my own process. And so that's kind of how I would describe my relationship with Mother Mary. And what I've learned in my journey with her is that she doesn't care. She doesn't care what it looks like in the sense of religious or not religious. She wants you to find her, and she wants to protect you, and she wants to hold you, and she wants to allow you to experience her healing to bring you closer to the divine and closer to source or Jesus or God or whatever you believe in. And so I'll start kind of in childhood. I was raised Catholic. And for most of my life, until I was about 18 years old, I was very proud to be Catholic. Again, there were a lot of things traditionally that I took to in the Catholic religion. I was baptized. I went and got my first communion. I went to Catholic school for all of my life, except for like 2 years when I went to, I had to go to like a public school for a learning disability. But most of my life, I've been really deep in relationship with the idea of God. And, you know, I've been open about this in the past. Jesus was something that I was kind of like, I've never really been on like the Jesus train for all my life. And I think it was just a lot of like masculine wounding. And also, what I now understand is my distaste with the Catholic Church has been a lot of like the masculine energy. So I think it was like kind of, you know, not that I'm like rejecting masculine energy, but something just didn't feel right. Like I didn't feel that connection with Jesus. Now I have a different relationship with him, but I always, 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 always had a connection to Mother Mary. I would see her. I have goosebumps talking about it. I would see statues of her in church and I would just look at her like, oh, she's so beautiful. Like, oh, I want to hug her. I want to be close to her. It was this really magical, indescribable connection that I now know comes from my lineage, which I'll get into. But growing up, very steeped in the Catholic Church, I mean, even to the point where we had traditions in the sense of not in the church, but on every Sunday, we'd, as a family, go to the church where my school was. We'd meet my grandparents. We'd all be in mass together, and they were very religious and, you know, Catholic, Lebanese, like very religious. And then we'd go to Il Fornaio that like overlooked the ocean in Del Mar, and we'd all like hang out as a family. And so there were a lot of traditions around church and family time that I think made for a really beautiful family experience growing up, because the memories I do have from my childhood were very much like family and religion are all in one. I got old enough where when I went to high school, I was part of campus ministry. I was one of the heads of campus ministry where I helped put on the retreats and I helped with masses and I was really involved. And then when I graduated and went to college, I was kind of like, you know, I don't really care about religion right now. And then a little bit after that, in my like early 20s, I was going to church every Sunday. And then something started to feel boring or disconnected, and I just stopped going. And that is around the time where I found spirituality. And I started to see mediums and intuitives, and I started doing some really deep healing through therapy. And I started realizing that religion didn't allow me to spread my wings and fly with some of the spiritual beliefs that I resonated with so deeply. Like I would hear about things in spiritualism that I was like, whoa, like I felt like that my whole life and I've never been able to put words to it. And the church doesn't believe that. So I'll give you an example. Like I have always been able to see and feel where energy is in homes, in people, in places. I can feel where there's a density of energy. I can feel like when I did Reiki more often, I would be able to see how the energy was flowing through somebody and if it was blocked or if it was stuck. And many times when I meditate, I'm able to see, is my energy flowing? Where is it stuck? Which chakra is it stuck in? Okay, I need to put some Reiki. I need to do this kind of meditation. So I'm like able to work with my energy. I've been like that since I was a kid. I've also, as a kid, been able to feel my guides with me. I'd walk through the hallway. I'd feel what I thought were like scary monsters, but they were actually my guides. Now that I'm able to connect with them, they were like, it was sometimes us. Sometimes it was your angels. Sometimes it was this or that. It was mostly me being able to feel energy all around me. And I could, like I said, I could never put a finger on it. And now I know that that's something the Catholic Church would never probably align with. But for me, it's a part of who I am. And so as I started to kind of explore things about myself and spirituality, as I mentioned, I started to feel this natural distance from the church. However, because Mother Mary, God, the rosary, certain things were really, really impactful on me in my life, it was natural for me to bring some of those into my relationship with spirituality because my foundation was in this very powerful religion. I remember as a kid, whenever I was lonely or scared or lacking connection or lacking warmth and love, one of my biggest wounds is abandonment and neglect. So whenever I would feel that as a child and I wasn't getting that repair and I felt really lonely, I would lay in my bed and I would cry and I would say, Mother Mary, please help me. Please help me. And I was probably about 10 years old. I remember laying in bed and I remember crying about something. And then I looked in the corner of the room and I remember thinking, Mother Mary, I need a hug from you right now. I need you to come and save me. I need you to help me. And again, this was like, I was a kid. I didn't know. I didn't know. I thought that, I could just snap my fingers and she'd be there. But I remember feeling an energy like in the corner of the room, and I got this overwhelming feeling to pray a Hail Mary, just one, and she would help put me to bed. And it's almost like I remember that I could feel her kneeling down by the bed and just being like, I'm here. I'm here. I know you want me in physical form and I can't be there for you, but I'm here. Since I was 10 years old, any time that I have trouble sleeping, I did this last night. I'm 33 years old. I pray one Hail Mary and I always fall asleep. Now, some people could say, oh, you've trained your brain to do it. Well, you know what? That's not what I'm choosing to believe. And that is what faith is. Faith is believing in something bigger than you, in a power or a higher power or a being that is here to help you. Now, my family's had some really interesting experiences with Mother Mary in our family that have also really allowed me to feel the power of her. And I'll get into it in a minute. But I want to talk a little bit about the symbolism of Mother Mary and her role in spiritual tradition, because when you think of Mother Mary and you don't come from a religious background, you usually think of this like beautiful woman in this like long gown with this thing over her head and, long black or brown hair. You may think of her older or younger. You may have an image of her in your mind that you may have seen on a show or on the Passion of the Christ movie or in a book somewhere, on the internet. But when you look at Mother Mary, you see this woman who doesn't automatically, when you look at her, you don't automatically think that woman is a powerful, master. Like she is a humble servant, a humble woman who is here to share the divine love that she has with the world, to be a source of unconditional love and compassion and healing. But most importantly, in my relationship with her, what I know of her to be is the protector of women. When I first started really communicating with Mother Mary, it was only a couple of years ago. And it was when I started kind of unpacking the mother wound on my journey. And I always thought to myself, am I good enough for her to communicate with? Am I good enough? How do I know if I'm feeling her? How do I know if I'm sensing her? How do I know if I'm channeling her words properly? She is such a divine woman and being to work with. It almost feels like I am not worthy. And yet in those moments, it's when her powerful force comes through that you realize that you can experience Mother Mary in many different ways. You can sense her warm hug or embrace around you. You can see her in your third eye. You can experience her through the kindness of another woman. I mean, it's interesting when I look back on my journey with the mother wound and how I was grieving my own relationship with my mom and the things I didn't get and the things that I am still reconciling with. Mother Mary always had my back, even in ways I didn't realize. Like, I'd meet a safe woman. And so Mother Mary doesn't just come to us psychically or spiritually. She comes to us in the form of other women who can also help protect us and help us heal and be a source of love. And that's what I aim to be. You know, when people ask me, what's your why? Or, you know, what is your soul's mission on this planet? Like, what do you feel you're here to do? I genuinely believe that my soul is here to be as much like Mother Mary as I can, nurturing, warm, loving, safe, protective. And it's interesting because sometimes I lean too far. I'm like, you're being too mothering right now. And I'm like, oh shit, I got to snap out of it, right? Like, there's a time and a place for that embodiment of Mother Mary. But I think Mother Mary is such a wonderful being to use as inspiration because she is the mother that our world is lacking, right? Our world is very male dominant. Our world is very productive and do and go and force. And I mean, you just look at the world and it's just like leaking masculine energy. And we have somehow become disconnected in our society with the power of Mother Mary, the power of a woman, the power of nurturing warmth and love. I mean, literally, guys, most of my sessions that I do with women are women who are suffering from a mother wound because their mothers have become cold, distant, rejection, like there's a rejection wound, and like cut off from that part in them that is like Mother Mary, warm and protective and love and nurturing. We have forgotten that. And when I talk to Mother Mary, many times I'll kind of channel her in my journal. She says, I cry for the world because we have become so disconnected from our hearts, almost as if to beg me, bring my heart through you into the world so that people can experience what it means to be held in a loving way. We have forgotten that as a society. We have forgotten that as a world. We have forgotten the safety and the warmth and the love of a woman. Women have been over-sexualized. They have been used as trade money, as they've been used as bartering. They've been used. We have been completely contorted in the view of a woman in this world. And that's why I think it's actually really badass that we have the opportunity to connect with Mother Mary, because at a woman's truest core nature is that embodiment of that love, and that safety, and that protection. And the trauma that we've experienced, as Mother Mary makes it clear, is that disconnect. I also feel that she wants me to add too, and this is something I'm struggling with, but it's something that I feel she would want everyone to know, is that she shows, okay, so she shows me, she shows like a being here. She shows herself in the middle. She's got this beautiful white light, red, like a dark red everywhere, like the heart. And then she shows me Jesus on the other side, and he's got like yellow light, and he's like got a crown, and he's like big, and he's got a lot of energy. And she's almost trying to show me that like through her, she is the portal into what she's trying to lead us all to, which is Jesus Christ. And again, that's a really hard one for me. That's a little bit of a hard one for me. I'm not sure where my relationship with Jesus is all the time. I have a better relationship now. He's like a brother that I can lean on, but I'm still going through my own determination of like Jesus as a whole, right? And so that's my journey that I get to go on. And just like everyone is on their own journey. But what I do know for sure, what I have felt my whole life, is that Mother Mary will hold me in my experience and make it safe for me to just be me. Isn't that what we all needed from our mothers? Most of us needed our mothers to hold us emotionally and physically, soothe us, love us, nurture us, take care of us, create security in us. Because when you look at the mother wound, you look at worthiness. You look at relationships with other people, specifically other women. You look at attachment theory. You look at being seen, feeling safe in the world. I mean, these are all things we learn from the mother. Well, when we don't have that, who can we turn to? Mother Mary. And Mother Mary has been able to show the world in a physical way through miracles and apparitions that she is alive, that her soul is here to help us. And regardless of what you believe in terms of religion, all you have to do is Google Mother Mary miracles on YouTube. There's one that was in the Ukraine or Egypt maybe. She appeared above a church. This was like the most recent apparition. I'll link it in the show notes. How's that? And you can see somebody, this was like back in the day before they had like cameras and video cameras, but somebody had one and they videotaped it and you can see this really bright light. I mean, it's just beautiful. So I say all of this because not to try to prove to you that she is real, but to merely show you that if you want to believe, there are opportunities to get curious. Because when you think about God or Jesus, you don't really hear about these miracles so much, right? And you don't really hear about the ways that Jesus says, oh, Jesus appeared over here and somebody saw him. Like, you don't hear that stuff, but you do with Mother Mary, and you see miracles with Mother Mary. So I'm going to share a few that I've experienced, that my family's experienced, that I heard growing up, that really allowed me to start getting curious about what it meant to have a relationship with Mother Mary. When my dad was living in Lebanon, there was a statue of the Virgin Mary in the hallway of one of the parts of the house. One day my dad comes home and there's a fire in their apartment and it's burning through the whole house. It's going downstairs and it's going upstairs. And all of a sudden the fire stopped. The family goes inside of the house and they go up to the second part of the home, and the fire went all the way until the statue of the Virgin Mary, and then it just stopped completely. But these are the stories that I heard growing up around Mother Mary. And this is why as a child I yearned for her, because I had this hole in my heart in needing love and warmth and care. And when I wasn't experiencing that, I thought, well, my family experienced miracles. Like, why can't I? Until 2 years ago, I had just gotten out of a Kundalini energy session. And in that energy session, I felt Mother Mary with me the whole time. And that's pretty common for me. I'll feel her standing at my feet, or I'll see a vision of her. I'll just feel her energy with me. Sometimes I'll hear her speak to me. And it was in the bedroom, and that's where my office was, like in the bedroom. And after the Kundalini energy session, I had this huge emotional purging because I was working on the mother wound at the time. And I remember sitting on the chair in my bedroom and thinking, oh my God, I need Mother Mary right now. I need warmth. I need love. I need nurturing. And to be honest with you, I was so present in the moment with this that I kind of blacked out a little bit. But all I remember is standing up and crying with my hands in with my head in my hands. And I remember feeling someone's hands on my shoulder. And then I heard kneel. So I knelt down on the floor and I was facing like one direction. And then I had this insane feeling that I needed to switch directions. Like it honestly felt like energy was trying to push me. Like I could feel the pressure of it. And I was feeling like in my head, you need to turn around, turn around, turn around. So I finally like moved. I was bent down on my knees and I felt like I was facing the right direction. I can't describe it. I just felt like I was facing the right direction. And as soon as I stopped crying, I remember speaking to her and saying, please help me, please hold me. I don't want to feel like this anymore. I heard in my heart, look up. And I ignored it at first. And then I heard it again and I felt it this time. I could almost feel again the energy. Look up. I'm here. Look up. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, why would I look up? Like, it was just so confusing. It was like somebody talking to me in the middle of me having these like crazy emotions. And then I looked up, and hanging on my lamp that I was facing, I had forgotten that I had wrapped a rosary around that part of the lamp. And when I realized that this is what was happening, that this was Mother Mary working through me saying, I am here, look up. I get so emotional because it's a love and it's a support and it's a protection unlike anything I've ever felt. I can't describe the feeling to you other than it was an overwhelming feeling of I am held. I am safe. I am protected. There is nothing that I will do in this life without her love and protection. That in my deepest and darkest moments, Mother Mary was there. And from that day forward, I've had a deeper relationship with her where, like I said, she'll come to me and I'll kind of channel words from her. I'll feel her in the room. I'll meditate and see different visions of her. There's many times where I'm traveling and I'll feel her in specific places. And recently, I've realized that she comes to me before I know that I need her. And that will be through visions where I'll be meditating and I'll feel her and now I'm kind of like, oh, something going to happen? Do I need to go and see her? Do I need to talk to her? And when I mean go and see her, when I first moved to Denver, I started getting these like iron transfusions, IVs up in Evergreen. And one day I was driving down Evergreen and back on the 70 down to Denver, and I saw this huge white statue on top of a like really tall mountain. And I was like, what the heck is that? Is that like I want to go there. Like that looks like something like cool. And then I did some research and I found out that it's the Mother Cabrini Shrine. And it's actually a statue of Jesus, but Mother Cabrini was a saint who brought a lot of orphans from Denver to the mountains of Colorado, and specifically where this shrine is at. And she took her staff one day when it was really hot and they needed water. And the story is that she hid it in the ground and a spring came out of the ground, and that spring is still flowing water at the shrine. And so they built these like 300 steps or something up to this tall statue of Jesus, which you can see from the freeway. But then there's this beautiful little chapel where you can light a candle, and there's like a lot of dedication to Mother Mary and Jesus and Mother Cabrini. But the shrine with the water is there. And there's just a lot of like mother energy there that's really beautiful that you can feel is inspired by Mother Mary. And so there have been a few times in Denver where I would be walking around the lake and I'd be just quiet or listening to a podcast, and I would feel her say, come see me tomorrow. So I would go. I don't know the reason why, but I answer. It's just a safe haven to be able to go and sit in the energy of Mother Mary and know that you will be held and protected by her. Mother Mary comes in many different forms. I'm actually going to pull a Mother Mary Oracle card today. This is my favorite deck that I work with. And there's like Our Lady of the Sacred Sun, Our Lady of Answered Prayers, Our Lady of New Vision, Our Lady of Comfort. There's Our Lady of Guadalupe, Our Lady of Medjugorje. Mother Mary has appeared in many different forms all around the world. I just think there's so much beauty in looking at how Mother Mary can be here for us. When I tune into the energy of Mother Mary and I ask her if there's anything else that she would like me to share about her message, she shares me that she is the protector of women. If you need love, support, nurturing, guidance, she will be there for you. You don't need to have a religious background like I do. Just have faith. Sometimes the yearning in our hearts is enough of a prayer to call in the energy that we need. When I was doing a subconscious hypnosis 2.5 years ago, one of my questions in the hypnosis was, how can I work with Mother Mary? And Mother Mary said to me in that, as I was channeling, because I felt like some days she was really there for me, and maybe some days she kind of wasn't. Like I could feel like there was kind of a step back. And she said, just like a good mother knows when to lean in and help support a child, a good mother also knows when to lean back and allow that child to move forward on their own, to build confidence, to build self-trust. It's like she is working through us as the mother in every way. You know, the divine mother, the human mother, like she really is helping us feel that lack of warmth and nurturing love and care. And I think that in today's world specifically, I hold this deep belief that we need her more than ever. But what we need even more than her is to be able to embody her. And the way that we can embody her is through being a safe woman for other women, being a protector of women, being protective of ourselves, but not in the sense of like in an ego trauma response protective way, in a way where we know our sovereignty. We know that we are heart-centered. We know that we are part divine, part human, and that we can share our love with people, but also we know when to step back a little bit, have some boundaries, and allow other people to have their human experience. But also protective in the sense of if you see someone harming you, being able to say, Mother Mary can hold me as I protect myself and walk away from something that doesn't feel aligned for me. Mother Mary, please take my shame or my guilt as I work through something that I need to have better boundaries with. Mother Mary, please be my support as I learn how to validate my feelings and stop gaslighting myself, because I know that how I feel is important in the world. The reason I love Mother Mary so much over any other divine being that I work with, I mean, for me, my top three are Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, and Joan of Arc. Those are my top three. Joan is so badass to work with. I just love. But what I love about Mother Mary is that so far in my experience, there is not a moment in time where she does not step in. There's not a moment in time where she does not step in. Now, is it her coming to me psychically, like I said? No, sometimes not. Sometimes she comes to me through the form of other women, or something I read on social media, or pulling a card, or this maybe a feeling that she gives me, or maybe a guidance of some kind. Like she works with us and through us in different ways. The beauty of your relationship with Mother Mary is that you get to establish what that looks like. And I can feel Mother Mary coming through and saying, be careful your expectations on what you put on her because of your own mother. Be careful the expectations you put on Mother Mary because of your own mother. Demanding, expecting perfection, expecting, your expectations, but also, she says, in the way that you call for her, in the way that you reach for her. Oh, I love that she's saying this. In the way that you reach for her. Do not reach for me the same way you would reach for your mother. Reach for me knowing that I will always reach back out. Ooh, I love that. I love that. Like our preconceived notions, right? Like part of the mother wound is that sometimes when we reach for our mothers, they did not reach back out for us, and that's part of our wounding. Reach for me in this like purity and this faith of knowing that I will always reach back out. Full body chills. She will always reach back out. So if you reach out to her with the expectation that she will always reach back out for you, how would you reach for her? So for me, my relationship with Mother Mary when reaching for her was demanding. When I was a kid, I need you to be here physically. I need you to give me this. I need you to give me that. Well, doesn't that go to show you what I was lacking in my relationship with my mother? This desperation, this neediness. And Mother Mary says, you don't even need to reach out to me like that because I'm always going to be there. So remember how I said earlier that your yearning of Mother Mary can be a prayer enough? Start with a yearning. Start with a curiosity. Let that be your first reaching. And then anything else that happens outside of that, we all get to establish our own relationship with these beings we work with. Every being works different. And maybe the reason why I've never been able to really connect with Jesus is because the way that I'm reaching, or maybe the way that you're supposed to work with Jesus, I haven't figured it out yet. And I'm okay with that because I've got his mother here holding me in a time in my life where I need a mother energy more than anything. And you can say the Hail Mary, and it doesn't have to be religious, or it can be an invocation through any prayer. You can make up your own. Mother Mary, please help me to connect to your heart. Please shed your light on me. Please inspire my life. Please work through me. Allow me to be a living, breathing embodiment of you. Whatever your prayer needs to be. In fact, a long time ago, I saved this really interesting thing here. So I'll share something with you really interesting. One of my favorite podcast episodes to listen to is Reverend Frances Faden. She is an interfaith minister, and she has a podcast that I love that my cousin introduced me to. And she is all about, if Mother Mary had a podcast, it would be Frances Faden. I'll link it in the show notes below. And I'll also link this prayer. In the Catholic Church, there's something called a novena. It's a prayer that you say every single day for 9 days, 15 days, like it depends on the prayer. But they're usually with Mother Mary, and it's in your deepest time of need that you would like her support or help with something. So you pray this prayer for 9 days. Well, what I love about Frances Faden and being an interfaith minister is that she takes her favorite and the most powerful things from many different religions and she incorporates them in her spiritual practice. I like to say that I do the same thing, especially when it comes to Mother Mary. And so she shared with me, Frances Faden, on her podcast, this prayer that I'm going to say to you. And again, I'm going to link it below so you can screenshot it. But when I'm in deep times of need, I think about this novena and I pray to Mother Mary for help. And this is what it says. And again, it's a little bit twisted in the religious realm, but the words, you have to trust the intention of what you're doing, okay? And it says, Immaculate Virgin Mary, Mother of Jesus and my mother, I come to you with confidence in your powerful intercession, manifested through your miraculous medal. As your loving, trustful child, I ask this favor. And then you ask for what you need. Please help me with my anxious attachment. Please help me with finding purpose in my life. Please help me with a strategic way to make more money so that I feel more fulfilled. Please help me with my relationship with my partner. Please help me with my relationship with my child. Whatever your deepest need is. That's where you say it. And then you say at the end, obtain for me as well a pure heart that my entire life may give glory to God. I've done that prayer many times in the last year since I rediscovered the novena. And it's crazy how within the first few days, you just start getting these like divine downloads and you're like, whoa, I never saw something from that perspective. Or, oh man, I ran into this person and they told me this thing that I needed to hear. I mean, you can experience miracles with Mother Mary outside of the religious realm every single day. Let me tell you something super clear. Mother Mary does not care what religion you subscribe to. She cares about working through you and allowing you to be inspired by the divinity that we all share. That's what Mother Mary cares about. And for people who are extremely religious and only choose to see the world through religion, that is going to be very challenging for them. But I carry the belief that Jesus, Mother Mary, Joan of Arc, all these people we work with, Buddha, they don't give a shit about what religion we subscribe to, or if we don't even subscribe to a religion. What they care about is allowing us the inspiration, giving us the inspiration to connect with Source. And I'll just say this. We are here on this earth because of Source. We are. And we were created by Source and two human beings. We are both, we have God within us, and we are human. And when we are able to connect with that Source inside of us, we are able to connect with the magic of life. And the moment that we start disconnecting from that Source within us, we start losing that inspiration, that motivation. It's what I believe. I've lived it. That's why I say that. There are moments where I would be so like tight with God, tight with Mother Mary. And I just saw my life flow in ways that I could never imagine. In fact, I got this trust tattoo on my arm here because there was a solid year of my life back in like 2021 into 2022. It was actually maybe a year and a half. And I would wake up every day and I would say, God, I trust that you are working through my life today. What will be, will be. I was experiencing the craziest synchronicities and flow and just the most ease. And then there's chapters of my life where, like right now, I'm kind of going through a little bit of a disconnect. I'm kind of feeling a little bit uninspired. Even my creativity is feeling a little bit like, yes, it could have been, the last few months of my life, just how crazy it's been. But even before that, I was kind of missing that like awe-inspiring moment of being like, oh man, like I feel God working through my life right now. And I think that's really normal and healthy. I think that that's part of being human, is that we kind of get caught up in things. But there is always a way to reconnect to that. Now, here's another little prayer that I screenshotted from someone on Instagram. And unfortunately, I don't have the source of it. But it's a prayer. I remember the whole caption was talking about us being an embodiment of Mother Mary and how that can create more love, more connection, more nurturing, more warmth in our lives, that we can be an embodiment of that, and how it impacts our collective healing and all of that. And the prayer says, I am Mary. I am love and compassion. I am the cosmic heart. I am the rose of higher love. I am Mary. I've got a ton of stuff in my phone actually saved for Mother Mary. I have this as well. This is like a photo of, it says, this picture of Our Lady was drawn by a mystic in Italy. Her hand was guided by Our Lady. There is a special blessing given each day to the person who carries it, and another blessing given each time one looks at it with love. When I look at this photo of Mother Mary, I'm reminded that she was a young girl who was human, who was pure and divine, and had a purpose that she didn't even know about. And then all of a sudden, one night, her life changed, and she was asked to carry this purpose that would make a mark on the rest of humanity for thousands of years to come. And I see a young girl who became a woman who was initiated by birth and initiated by becoming a mother, who realized that she was the perfect embodiment of the love that we need, the kindness, the compassion, the grace, the love, the warmth. I mean, when you look at this photo, you can just see it in her eyes. It almost makes you emotional. And you can almost feel through this photo energetically, Mother Mary was saying, I am you. I am you. And as a woman, I think there is no better divine being, divine mother to work with than Mother Mary. I've worked with Kali before. I've worked with other divine mother beings. But for me, Mother Mary is the most incredible energy to work with. I've had full body chills this entire time. Let me see if there's anything else that I need to connect with. Okay, so it's time to do the reading. So for you listening on the podcast today, I decided that I was going to pull a card for the collective for anyone who is listening to this right now. So if you are listening to this message is exactly for you. I'm just going to tune into the energy of it for a moment, cleanse the cards. And if you know someone who can benefit from this message, please listen to it or send it so they can listen to it. Just going to pray for a moment. So let's just see what comes up. Mother Mary, what does each person who listens to this podcast need to receive from you right now in their life? Nope. Okay. Just love the back of these cards too. So beautiful. All right. So the card that you are receiving is 34, Our Lady of Nourishment. Beautiful card. Absolutely beautiful. You can see Mother Mary is holding the baby and she's breastfeeding and she's looking down on the baby and just with awe and pride and joy, and maybe not pride, but awe and joy. Just a sense of, I am your mother. I am your mother and I am here and I will feed you. Like a joy it is. It's almost like a joy that she takes in knowing that she can provide for her baby. So let's read what she has to share with us. Okay. 34, Our Lady of Nourishment. These are kind of long, so stick with me, and then after this, we're going to do the meditation. So, all right. She says, do you hunger, my child, for love, for security, for knowing that all will be well? Do you hunger for food, for possessions, for relationships, for opportunities to be free in the world and make your mark? Do you hunger, my child, for feelings of tenderness, appreciation, and acknowledgement? Let me fulfill that hunger now through the divine presence and the bounty that it brings. Let me fulfill that hunger that you may know fullness, not only fed by the spiritual worlds, but nourished through delight in your precious life in this physical world through which you are approaching your spiritual enlightenment. By the way, this is page 143. I love you. That's what it means, right? She goes on to say, in the physical world, hunger can be painful. It can be the very real physical suffering of impoverished bodies. Hunger can also exist as a subtle, but just as real, at another level, just as painful, spiritual poverty that threatens the continuing existence of the human soul. The human soul is most precious. It is what allows for wild animal and sublime spirit to unite, for flesh to become sacred and for spirit to become tangible, that it may live in the world as love. It is so extraordinary that any explanations of it in the words are limited at best. To put it mildly, the human soul is worth fighting for. It is the part of us that feels, that has compassion, creativity, and connection to the living reality of the body and the natural world. It just knows when something is genuinely true and therefore coming from love, or false and therefore not coming from love. It isn't interested in wrong and right, in judgment and one belief system over another. Guys, what? Haven't we been talking about this the whole time? The human soul wants to thrive. The only world it knows to be true is love. Without the human soul, this whole divine experiment of Earth School cannot come to its fruition of a radiant world of illuminated beings contributing tremendous waves of love to our universe. We have so much power available to us as a species. You only have to feel the energy at a football match to understand that group power is considerable. However, if the soul is not present, that power is unable to be directed into constructive channels to improve our world. Imagine all the potent emotional intensity that is poured into a championship sports event. One person has tremendous power to create difference in the world. Imagine how much power and energy could be generated for the greater good by a group of conscious people with great passion. Working together with conscious intent would make human beings very potent, spiritual change agents, and the world would be transformed quickly. And of course, then there is the human soul that you have, beloved. Apart from the power of contributing through a group, you have a very important role as an individual being. You, my beloved, understand something of the spiritual truths that are still hidden from the masses, who are fearful and cannot understand as yet. You are one of the children of the Divine Mother, one of those who walks the path of the living Christ, to assist with raising consciousness on this planet and bringing the spirit into the body so that a human soul can be born. No matter what hungers you may have for status, for wealth, or pleasure, or contentment, or service, or passion, or freedom, or more, at the core of any hunger is the hunger for the soul. It might be masquerading at times as a hunger for power, relationship, money, or chocolate. Yet underneath all of that, there lies the hunger for life, and life is only directly experienced through the human soul. The mind cannot do it alone. There is no feeling function there. The body cannot do it alone. There is no self-awareness there. It is the mind and body together through the soul which creates the capacity to experience and be transformed and nourished through that human experience. Without this, it is like being the most amazing buffet. Without this, it is like being at the most amazing buffet, so very hungry that you are ravenous, but having no mouth which to eat. Surely one definition of hell. Our Lady of Nourishment comes to you with this message. Your hungers will be met. Allow her to show you what you are truly hungering for. Yes, there may be moments of desire for a car or a pair of shoes, but if you allow the Mother, she will lead you far deeper into what you are truly hungering for, so that your hunger can actually be fed. After all, if you are hungry for light, darkness will never satiate your hunger, no matter how much of it you try to consume. She asks that you turn to her with your desires and ask for her help. She will not judge you or condemn you. She will help you. Sometimes she may show you that what you think you want is not actually what you need, want, or is your truth. She will do so with mercy if you ask her to. The healing process for this oracle will help you. Finally, if you are not sure how this relates to you, then know this within you, even if it is not conscious yet. There is a great hunger and yearning, hello, that is soon to emerge. You can't make this up. This is an expression of a spiritual call of your own soul to life, a desire to live somewhat fuller, more fearlessly with a greater understanding than before. It might manifest in a practical sense as a desire to travel or to communicate with people who are open-minded and willing to listen to you and who want to speak about all sorts of topics. It might manifest as a desire to break out of the mold of your life and bust through stereotypes. Pray to Our Lady to help you feed your hunger in the most conscious, constructive, and healing way possible. She wants to help you now, and only she can truly feed the world. You guys, you can't make this up. I literally pulled this. You saw me. I mean, this whole podcast episode has been about yearning for her and allowing her to fill you with her love and protection and mercy and grace and compassion and healing. And if you're listening to this, she is speaking through me to you. She is speaking to you. She is saying, I want to feed you with that nourishment. Allow me to. So we're going to do that together. I'm going to lead you through a short meditation. You may want to come back to this if you're driving. Well, actually, please come back to this if you're driving. But you may want to come back to this if you can't be still for just a few minutes. But I want you to find yourself in a comfortable seated position. I timestamp all of my podcasts, by the way. So if you need to come back to this later, all you have to do is come back to the description and I'll put the meditation right there so you can click on it and you'll know when to come back to it. So get into a comfortable seated position. You can also lie down. You can also stand. It's not going to be that long, but I just want you to feel relaxed. So you may not feel relaxed standing, but just somewhere where you can just take a deep breath. And when I have you exhale, you can sink into something. Maybe it's your feet. Maybe it's your seat, your glutes. Maybe it's your back on the bed. And I want you to just notice as you close your eyes the natural cadence of your breath. Just find the inhales and the exhales. And on your next exhale, I want you to take a really big inhale through the nose, fill up the belly, fill up the chest, all the way to the very tip top of your breath as if you can't hold any more. And then exhale out through the mouth, sigh it out, maybe stick out your tongue, make some noise, and let it go. And then I want you to do this 2 more times. I'll guide you through it. Big inhale in up through the belly and the chest. Biggest breath you've taken so far, all the way to the top of the head, and hold. And then exhale out through the mouth, letting some air go, sinking into the space that you're in, and feeling your body relax. And then one more time. Inhale in through the nose, up, biggest breath you've taken today, hold at the top. And exhale, fully releasing all the energy out that you don't need to hold on to. And feeling fully relaxed in your body. And with your eyes closed, I want you to imagine that you are in a softly lit room. And in that room, you see a baby being fed by its mother. You can feel the peace and the quiet in the room. You can feel the contentment. There is nowhere to go, nothing to do, no one to be. Give yourself a little moment to settle into that. As you start to connect with this peace and quiet in the room, you notice that the mother who is feeding this baby softly starts to make these cooing noises, perhaps singing a gentle lullaby. And the child in return is in bliss, fed, happy, and comfortable. Be with the feeling of this. It may be lovely to witness this, or it may be confronting if this was not the reality for you. You may find it foreign and strange, or easy to imagine. Whatever you feel is fine, just notice it. Try not to analyze or intellectualize what you're experiencing. Just notice. And I want you to say the following prayer. Repeat after me in your mind or out loud. I call upon Mother Mary, Our Lady of Nourishment, who loves me unconditionally. You, who know my deepest hungers and desires, please help me to be truly nourished. My dear Mother, I ask for your support, intervention, and assistance that my soul may be fed, that it may thrive, bringing passion, light, and presence to this world, igniting the soul of others too. May your will be done. And then I want you to place your hands on your heart and imagine the love of the Divine Mother Mary gently flowing like mother's milk in through your hands and pouring into your heart. And I'm going to give you 1 whole minute here. Just stay and feel this nourishing. Feel how Mother Mary pours her love into you, feeding your heart as it heals. I'm going to give you 1 whole minute to feel this. Allow her to speak to you. And allow yourself to yearn for her, even if you're not sure how. If you're experiencing blocks, ask for her help. The last thing that you'll say to finish this meditation, as your eyes are closed and you're receiving her love, is this. Again, you can repeat after me in your mind or out loud. Our Lady of Nourishment, true, feeds my soul with all that is real. I grow strong in my light and my presence, becoming a lover and a holy child of this world. And when you're ready, you can slowly start to open your eyes, come back to the space that you're in. You can pause the podcast here and grab a journal and just write about what you experienced. I would love to hear, actually, on social media if you want to send that to me, what your experience was. Again, this deck, I'll link it in the show notes. It's the Mother Mary Oracle, Protection, Miracles, and the Grace of the Holy Mother by Alana Fairchild. I had goosebumps reading that description. Did we not talk about all of that? Again, Mother Mary will always reach out for you. Always. She is so powerful to work with. I also love, we didn't talk too much about this today. We talked about protection, we talked about miracles, but grace of the Holy Mother. You know, I think that many of us when we think about our relationships with our mothers, we don't always know that we can be confident that we experience grace from our mothers. Maybe there were, expectations that were put on us as women that were traditional in the sense that don't align with our truest nature. Or maybe we beat ourselves up, take on too much, become the parentified mother of a family system. Like in any way that we lack the ability to have grace for us doing the best that we can and having grace for ourselves, Mother Mary can help you do that. Because Mother Mary knows that we are imperfect and she loves us and accepts us in our imperfection. And the reason that she wants to fill us with so much love is to infuse us with a self-love in a way. But she says it's bigger than that. It's almost like she's trying to show me that, like, we as women, we have forgotten the love that we come from, that we are connected to. And by allowing her to work through us, we are learning how to reconnect with that soul, which is what the description talks about. Our soul is that divine source. When we disconnect from our soul, we lose that motivation, that inspiration for life, the things that fill us. And that's what that card is saying. And if you have a hard time with your relationship to your mother, or the relationship to women, or relationship to worthiness, or relationship to being seen or feeling safe or secure, Mother Mary will protect you and help you. Even self-forgiveness. I think as women, we put so much pressure on ourselves to be everything to everyone and do this and do that. And, there's so much judgment and criticism around being a good mom or being a bad mom, or you're doing this or you're doing that wrong. I mean, I feel really bad for women who are first-time mothers. I'm not at that stage in my life yet, but when they're first getting into like what they want to do and how they want to experience being a mother and the decisions that they want to make, and there's so much negativity. Don't do an epidural. It's horrible for you. Don't do it at home. You could go to the hospital. Like there's just, so wherever you are, as a mother, with a mother, whatever your relationship is to the mother, you can call on the Divine Mother to be there for you. And remember, you can pull an oracle card. You can do the little novena if you're going through a difficult time. You can say a Hail Mary. Just Google Hail Mary. You can just say it and just say, I don't really know what I'm saying, Mama. That's what I call her. I call her Mama. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I know I need you. Show me how I need you. Show me what I need right now. She'll always be there for you. I promise. Now, again, just to wrap up the episode, if you're thinking like, well, where do I go from here? I've given you a lot of tools to start tapping into. But again, don't forget the impact of what it means to just yearn for her. The freaking book even said it. Yearn for her. Ask her to fill your heart with what you need. And here's my biggest advice when you're working with Mother Mary. Leave the imposter syndrome at the door. Because when you're working with Mother Mary, you will experience miracles and massive synchronicities in your life. I mean, I'm just thinking of one client in particular on our very last session together. The experience that she had with Mother Mary, and we were working on her relationship to the mother for many sessions. It was the most miraculous experience to watch and to witness Mother Mary working through someone who has been working on their relationship to the mother. So that's what I'm going to share about Mother Mary today. I feel like I got to channel a little bit, got to do the meditation, gave you a ton of tools to use in your experience and relationship to Mother Mary. And here's what I'll do. I'm putting out this podcast episode on, let me look at my calendar right now. It's going to come out on September 3rd. Okay. On September 3rd, today, or maybe September 4th. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'll do a Q&A. I'll do a Q&A on my stories. Maybe I'll even do it a few days after. Maybe I'll do it like towards the weekend. where it'll give you enough time to listen to the episode and stay in tune with my Instagram and my stories. I'll open up a Q&A. You can ask any questions that you want. I'll channel some Mother Mary for you. I'll pull some cards for you, and we'll give you some guidance with Mother Mary. Because if you have this yearning for her, but you have a lot of fear of how you want to reach out, remember what she said. Reach out and know I will always reach in return. If there's something that I can help you work through with that, I will be here for you as a safe woman who wants to protect your heart, love you, wrap you in warmth, and tell you that you are safe and everything's going to be okay. Okay? So stay tuned on my Instagram stories for that. Also, it's 222. Can't make this shit up. Thanks for joining me on another episode this week on the podcast. Who knows? Maybe I'll come back and see if Mother Mary wants to do a bit more channeling at another time. But it was beautiful to be a channel for this and to be of support for you as potentially another woman, or you could be a man. But most of my community is women. And I just feel honored to share this really divine connection with you. So good luck with your relationship with her. That's a kind of weird thing to say, but like, good luck. And I'll be here to support you in any way that you need. And guys, don't forget, on the last day of every single month, I announce a free family constellation therapy session to somebody who rates, subscribes, and reviews the podcast. That's all you have to do. Rate, subscribe, review, screenshot all of that as proof, send it to me on Instagram in my DMs, and I will enter you in to win a free FCT with me. That's all you got to do. I just announced one last Saturday. And then I'll announce one while I'm in Italy later this month on September 31st. 30th? Does September have a 31st? No, it does not. September 30th. Thanks for joining me again. And please, I would love to hear how this episode resonated with you. Reach out to me on Instagram. Review, leave a comment on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube. I would love to know how this resonated with you, what you're taking away from it, even what you experienced in the meditation. I was having some like kind of moments in the meditation myself, so I got to go journal about it. But yeah, I'll link everything in the show notes. Thank you so much again, and I will see you next week on the Heal with Kat podcast.